Hi guys, so today's video is how to pass English literature. So let's get straight on with the video. So I took the exam board of AQA. So I don't know how relevant this is to any of the other exam boards, but I took AQA. So the books that we done, for me in my year, we done Macbeth, Christmas Carol in Spectacles and poems, Power and Conflict. I passed English literature with a 5, what is very shocking when I was getting 2s and 3s at the beginning of year 11, and to be able to get a 5 in English literature when personally for me it was harder was just amazing. So I'm going to show you how I went from getting 2s and 3s to getting a 5. So I wrote down a load of things that I used. I sadly did throw away all my revision stuff and also gave it away to other people like my little sister. So I don't have any of my resources anymore. I've given it to people that are retaking English and stuff like that. So I'm unable to show you personally, but I'll just put pictures up and things like that. Well, I used revision cards. Literally all I wrote on it was key quotes and what they meant for each of the characters. So we're going to base everything off of Macbeth, because Macbeth is quite a general one that most people like take and learn. So for Macbeth, I on one side would write Macbeth's key quotes and then what the quotes mean, and I'll just test myself like that and try and learn the quotes off by heart, because if you know the quotes you can explain it and apply it to any of the questions. I also went in detail about learning each character. Even though you don't need to know this, it is quite good to learn a bit of context and backstory about the characters and just understand their past as well as what you've read in the books. I also brought myself, you can get anywhere off of eBay and Amazon, I brought myself my own like Macbeth book, Christmas Carol book and In Spectacles book, just to highlight key stuff and also read and refer back to, because I know if you ever put quotes in your exam, make sure you put what line it is, because that could get you extra marks and make you look smarter. I also, when revising, also use quite good mind maps. Personally for me, mind maps really helped me. Some people don't like them because they're a bit messy, but I like mind maps as it kind of had all my key information then and there, and before I went into the exam I sat there flicking through my mind maps and just refreshing my memory. I just done say Macbeth in the middle and wrote his key quotes, and then what they all meant and stuff like that. Also used BBC Bite Size. My teacher was insisting that we use BBC Bite Size. They had loads of videos, loads of backstories. That's where I mainly got all my like backstories of each of the characters from. BBC Bite Size just helped me in general, just watching the videos and stuff like that. If your school doesn't show you the play of Macbeth, you should definitely watch the play because it gets a more visual. So if you're a visual learner, definitely go watch the Macbeth play, because it makes you visual the scenes in your head and things like that, and really put a face to a character so you know who it is rather than a cartoon version. Also done loads of exam questions. I took some past papers from like 2018 and 2017's. I done their exam questions, marked them myself because I didn't want to take them to my teachers, but I marked them myself, and I was very harsh on myself because there's no point giving myself easy points because that will get me nowhere, but you can if you want to take it to your teachers. You can also buy the Macbeth books and Christmas Carol, anything books basically, and they just have loads of information about the characters, all the themes. I never learnt the themes. I don't know why we never did, but I never learnt the themes for any Macbeth, Christmas Carol, anything like that, but definitely go and learn the themes. They give you a bit of a backstory to all of them as well as the characters, and makes you see things differently to what your teacher's been telling you. Another big thing that helped me when revising for Macbeth, Christmas Carol and Spectacles was looking at other people's notes, especially people in the higher set, and seeing what they learn, because different teachers teach differently. So your teacher might be telling you one thing and another class could be having more information about that one thing. So definitely go look at other people's notes, especially if you're in a different class with some of your friends. You can just ask them, can I have a look at your notes? Ask them to photocopy them. I remember just asking to look at people's notes, people's books and all that. Even people that were in my class, they might have wrote something like extra and I was just reading their notes. So that also really helps. So poems. So this is the poem we done, like the poem books that we had. If you're take AQA, you know about them. I took Power and Conflict. This could also relate to you, even if you don't take Macbeth, Christmas Carol, In Spectacles or Power and Conflict, this could still relate to you. So I went into the exam only knowing 2 poems, I promise you. So I only revised 2 poems and it was the best thing I ever done. There's so many people everywhere just revising every single poem and I'm just like, why would you do that? You can read the poems and like get an understanding as long as you know each of the poems a bit and able to analyse it in the exam, you'll be fine. Because I went in there only knowing the poem Kamikaze and Remains. The reason I went in there was because Kamikaze can relate to everything in there. If you just word it right, it relates to everything. And the reason I went in also knowing Remains was because if Kamikaze did come up, I could relate it to Remains. So they both link. And I personally know these 2 ones very well. I still remember it now and I'm in A-levels, so that proves how much it stuck in my head. I did write the notes for the Kamikaze and Remains on my phone, so I think it was like in the May half term, I went to Chessington and I was just in the queue looking at my notes, learning the Kamikaze like step by steps, and I bullet pointed each step, like what I would write about if it came up. So for every poem, always start off with what the poem's about, so a bit of an intro basically. Like Kamikaze is about a pilot, a Japanese pilot I think it was, who was fighting for his country and had these certain beliefs and things like that, and then just explain like the buntings and stuff like that and what they represent. I just bullet pointed each step, so then it's like small and short and sweet little remembrance, but it like means so much. So even if you write just the little quotation of it and you know what it means, so there's no point writing out these fat notes of what it means. You just write little key thing like buntings and then boom, your brain would just go I know what that means. That's one thing my teacher did teach me, was just to write everything in small bullet points and just know what the bullet points mean, and you'll get into that exam and write the bullet points out and boom, you know them. So when I did go into the exam, the first thing I done is turn to poems and literally just wrote the Kamikaze step by steps. I didn't even look at what the poem was. I just wrote Kamikaze's like bullet points and then moved on to Beth question. The best thing to do in literature is bullet point everything, keep it small and sweet, and just as long as you know what it means, you'll be fine. I promise you, don't stress about it. If you're struggling, ask your teachers, they are there to help you. I never turned up to any revision lessons. I'm going to be honest with you, I never turned up to any revision lessons. I was very much like, I like to revise by myself. I'd rather just sit in my room all day revising by myself instead of with other people. So please work out, if you do need to go to them, go to them. I would recommend going to them, especially the ones that are right before the exam, because I remember I'm not going to expose the revision lesson before maths, and they did not pass sadly, and most of what was in that exam was what we learned literally an hour before the exam. So please go to your revision lessons, especially a few hours before. They're the best things you can do, I promise you. Just put the time in and you'll be able to do it. Good luck year 11s. If you're struggling at all, come on my social media, talk to me, DM me, private message me. I will get back to you like that, and I will help you in any way if you need any help. But I did get a 5, and I worked from getting a 1s and 2s and 3s to getting a 5, so I think I done pretty well. As I said, I failed my GCSE mocks and I passed my GCSEs, so just a little revision really does help, especially from January to May, really does help. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this helped one of you guys, because it would mean so much just for me to maybe help, even if it's just one of you out of 72 of you, like it would just be amazing. So thank you very much for watching. Bye. Make sure you share this with your friends to help them, because this could help them.